Hello, welcome to another album review. Today we'll be going over Space Ape's self-titled album. Space Ape's out of Austin, Texas. A lot of great stoner bands have been coming out of Austin, Texas. Retro rock, doom metal, all sorts of great, amazing things. The thing this band has kind of in common with their forefathers is they kind of recruited one of the best sound engineers out there and guitar player and singer of one of the greatest bands out there. That would be Ken Stump of Woefat. I would love to say this band kind of sounds like Woefat, but they definitely do not. They have their own kind of flair, their own kind of style, their even own kind of album covers. And not only that, Woefat kind of sticks to one singer. Kent kind of does all the singing for this band. However, Space Ape totally does not. The drummer, for all you musicians out there that kind of want to get into maybe a drummer that does a lot of different stuff and can sing at the same time and kind of take a cue from them, this guy is amazing. He's a really, really talented drummer and a really, really talented singer. He really creates all these kind of fills that kind of work in and around his vocals without, adding too much kind of work, per se, but still sounds really, really amazing. Secondly, the guitar player also sings and plays, and it seems as though these guys really know what they're doing. They're a younger band, but they really know what they're doing, and their work is really, really mature. As far as their work goes, there's a bunch of different things going on this record, which is pretty intriguing. It seems like there's a bunch of different influences, whether it be the more ambient side of the more post-rock feel, maybe more like Isis and Neurosis. They definitely can throw in that kind of vibe, especially when they're building up these huge sonic sound structures. But they definitely go into a lot of different territories as well, whether it be crushing riffs or just well-written songs. They also have a penchant for kind of adding in different influences that might not seem so familiar to the genre itself, such as riffs that kind of seem similar to stuff that you might hear on maybe a Cult record, where it's these two-note kind of licks where it's very driving and it's very piercing sounding. Also, something that I recognized too was it's kind of like riffs that you might hear on more of a pop punk record, such as The Offspring or Bad Religion, and you can definitely feel a lot of that hardcore punk kind of energy come forth. I watched a video of these guys live where they also did a lot of stuff that kind of not saying mocked, but in between the songs they would play different riffs from maybe different bands that influenced them, or maybe something that they were poking at that they could play or not. But Judas Priest was one of the things that definitely popped up in that kind of category, and it all kind of translates out into this record, whether it be the more heavy fist pounding Judas Priest, or the very fast-paced kind of, riffs that you might hear on a more pop-punk record, or even the sonic qualities and just great riffage that you might hear on a Cult record, all compressed into this package into a bigger, encompassing kind of like world that you would hear on a stoner record or more ambient sort of thing. There's a lot going on this record. And as an overall thing, I think it's about 8 tracks, and they're all really, really amazing. And not only are they amazing, but the lyrics are pretty different that you might hear on your stereotypical kind of stoner rock, doom metal kind of thing. Some of it deals with space, cosmos. Some of it even deals with a lot more personal issues that might be going on with the band. And last but not least, the bass player really puts forth some energy and definitely keeps his own, holding down the overall sonic structure, while maybe the drummer and the guitar player are going off into different areas. I would say that he definitely adds his own character to the overall record, kind of more or less using his own sonic qualities to mature the songs and add a different depth to things, especially when I see him live and he kind of does different tunings on certain songs or intermissions or interludes and all sorts of things that happen. Definitely try and look these guys up live because it will give you a really good idea of what they are doing on record. There's a lot of different things going on, and you'll definitely get a general idea how they might have done it in the studio session as live, and definitely watching the live stuff as opposed to listening to the recorded stuff. You can see that they've done it all probably in the studio without, doing too many overdubs or things like that. The only thing that I would love to hear from this band is maybe some vocal double tracking. I think that both vocalists really do really well, and I think their voices would complement each other, maybe in a more Alice in Chains kind of way where they might double up their vocals and really add a more epic feel to their music. Not that it's already not epic and not that the songs are not already amazing. I would just love to see that kind of thing happen. Definitely check these guys out if you are into the 80s style, maybe harder rock leaning, maybe like the Cult, and definitely if you're into Neurosis and stuff like WoFat, those kind of things are definitely in there. And there are some heavier riffs and more shouting, maybe that you might hear on like a Sleep record, or even as far to go as maybe if you were listening to some of the more sludgier punk bands out there. These guys definitely have that feel and characteristic that would shine through and definitely make you want to pick this record up. If you like, please check out their Bandcamp page. They have a few items on there, and you can actually download their digital format. Supposedly these guys will also have a physical CD out there, and hopefully we'll see a vinyl release in the future, because I really think that this album would sound amazing on vinyl, just like any WoFat release would. And if it's engineered by Ken Stump and produced, you know it's going to sound amazing on vinyl. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.